Hello traders, good week. Vladimir here. This is the weekly forecast for 7th of February 2016. Last week the market was tricky until Thursday and Friday, where we saw some aggressive moves, mainly from the euro pairs. But slowly all the other pairs followed as well. That's what the euro did, and that was really massive. Canadian started the retrace up after creating this kind of convergence. So basically several things happening. So let's start to cover. Started with dollar Canadian. Let's continue with this one. This pair did the scenario as we expected. Bearish convergence was completed, band to band was completed, so makes sense that starting from, as long as this bottom holds, maybe even if it creates one more bottom, we will start to see pullbacks to some kind of area like this before this pair will continue one more push to the downside, which from my point of view still makes a lot of sense. We are going to this place right here. Of course, it should take time. If we drop down to lower time frames, we can see that this pair completed the triple cycle, which was one of the possibilities right here. Yes, the channel of it is a bit tricky to put it inside, but still this pair is on triple cycle. According to that, we could expect boom, 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 push up back to this area somewhere, 142 zone, slightly below, slightly higher, and then continuation all the way for new bottoms. Big chance for that to happen. Now, if we drop down to lower time frames, the way it should move should be pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how it should slowly cover and move. So on the short term, I believe we might enjoy from kind of a drop and one more high. We could try intraday short back to this trend line or so, this area, and then we might try one more long towards the 142 until the bearish divergence will be created, and then we should get out and look for sell opportunities. That's for dollar CAD. The next interesting pair on the list is euro dollar. This pair is about to complete. Well, from one side it did complete. Okay, if we look at it this way, then we can say 100 is right there. But I believe this is the one we should measure, simply because that is kind of a triangle. So basically that's what I would be looking for the euro dollar, and that's 113 plus. And of course, if we keep in mind that that might be kind of a range, we might go out to the top of the range looking for sell opportunities right there. So would the euro dollar continue higher? I believe so now, but it's getting a bit tricky. So I would be looking for this trend line to hold, trend line and support. So if we get it lower here, I think we might try some kind of a buy. This is the 1 hour chart. Okay, that's what this pair did. So basically 2 waves correction to below this area, and from 110.50 down to 109.50 approximately, we might start to look for potential buy opportunities back to 113 or so. And again, that will be a bit tricky, but that will be relevant as long as the trend line holds and the support area holds. So after the drop, if comes, we might be looking for another buy opportunities. Talking about non-farm payrolls, last week we saw that the numbers keep disappointing. Well, not keep disappointing, but start disappointing. 151K only. That's the new additional number to the job market. But from the good side, the unemployment rate is below 5. Amazing, isn't it? But for me, after some kind of dollar strength, which might appear here and there, the dollar should slowly get weaker for some time, simply because I don't think the Fed will allow themselves to keep increasing the rates as they would want at the beginning. Pound dollar, well, did exactly what we wanted, rallied towards 146 area and now correcting itself. The big question remains, is all over? And from my point of view, the answer is no. I believe we will see one more lower to below 140, and that might be in 133. The biggest question is, can we go for a sell? Now, watching on this cycle down, we kind of been mirrored here, okay, on the last way here. So the question is, can we start the sales for long run? And the answer is, I would prefer still to try long. As long as this bottom holds, I would be trying buys for something like that. After that, the answer is yes, because I would want to see the complete mirror. If we treat it as a range, we got out of it, so something like 30-40 candles to the upside. So basically like 2 more weeks under some kind of bullish pressure, and then I would be definitely trying the sells over again. So for me, it's more like 2 waves down to around 143.50 or lower, like 143, and try the longs again. Next one on the list is the euro pound, the one in between, and here we got 2 scenarios, because from one side, after the bullish convergence, we might get it higher towards 080 or 081, 082, that's very strong levels. And according to the daily chart, we might really get it in triple. Okay, and that means after that we can go and try huge sells. But the biggest question remains is it possible to make it straight? Since this drop down didn't mirror the previous cycle, that cycle should be mirrored, which means we could still get it in 2 ways before the continuation, or we might at least get into the second scenario, which could be a range. And for that we also have some kind of possibilities. We have on the 4-hour chart false break here, and we have a range for the bottom, false break 1, 2, range on the bottom. So what I'll be looking to do as one of the scenarios is, if we go to the top again, or maybe even false breaking it, I would be trying to go short to the bottom of the range again, because this range might start the play and mirror this previous cycle. So that's the 2 scenarios from my point of view. Make long story short, if we get it something like that and retracing here, I would be trying to go this way short during this week. That's what I was trying to play. Aussie dollar, well, the drop down was huge, and this triple cycle really paid well. 1, 2, 3 was beautiful, really by the book, because it's also under a channel. And between these 2 tops we had a bearish hidden divergence, which much well seen on the daily time frame. 1-hour chart got a monster divergence. We got a beautiful false break right here on this place, false break of horizontal, really great sign. The biggest question, what's coming next? And I still want to remind that according to the plan, Aussie dollar might drop lower to 063, 060 or so for a final bottom, maybe even to below this area, which is 060. After that, I do believe we are going for a huge long-term rally, but it's going to take time. So, bottom line, what do we do? That's tricky indeed, but on the short term, I would be trying longs. Now we are next to 50 on the triple cycle. That's a great place to try potential longs, right? After the 071 was taken, we are going probably to here. Maybe we are going to here. This is the area where I believe that this drop is going to stop, and from here with this trend line we might start to cover and look for potential buys. Why? Because on short term, triple cycle should be reacted to the upside, and I'm still not sure at all that the Aussie dollar will not try to do down and one more up before taking it to new bottoms. That's why on the short term I would be trying to start and collect top bottoms below this area, and of course after the bullish divergence to be created as a must, start to rally here, enjoy that, cashing out partial, but trying to let it go, because if we get this rally we are going to top of the range, which is 0.74 or so, which means great opportunity. Okay? If we break down after that and we go to below last bottom, very likely I will be looking for sales again. New Zealandian dollar game is expected to play the same way. I still will not be surprised at all. We are going for something like that and then a crash. And another scenario, we are now on a range, false break number 1, false break number 2, which means this is the range. So to make long story short, I still would be trying to go longs. Now, ideally, that was the one I wanted to go short, but missed the opportunity a bit. That's where it missed the 161. That's 161 reached, but I was reading it as a range, so I wanted to take it from here. Anyway, missed this kind of short, but I'm not sure this one is over, and that's why if we get two waves correction mirrored to this cycle, okay, like boom, boom, then I think it could be a really nice opportunity to long it. That's a trend line, that's a support line. While it holds, I think it's more like a buy. Break below that, of course, will make the probability we are going for a new bottom into reality, like extending cycle here, but I'm not that yet sure the game is over. Now, a few more interesting things happen on the way. EuroCAD, which I believe going for new highs, but I'm not sure this correction is over. Now, according to what's happening here, I would be trying this kind of correction to look for potential shorts here. Okay, if we get some divergence here, that might be a good opportunity to look for double cycle here. So while this top holds, I think this rally should be potential sell during the week here. I do believe we are going to below 149, which after we should be looking for buys again for long run. I think we are going for 164 or so, we know that. That's for the EuroCAD. Now the next one on the list, dollar yen. Dollar yen is ultra interesting, and as long as this bottom holds, and it still holds, we are yet potentially in a reversal area. Now this one is really tricky, because if we get below this bottom, it starts to be bearish convergence, and then there is a big chance we are moving in triple cycles, which means we can go to 114 and even lower. So break below, convergence, and then turn to turn and break down in a sell again. 114, 112, 110 even on this drop down possibility. Seems the market is disappointed from Japan, despite the steps they're trying to do. Next one on the list, OZ Kiwi, which I start to find interesting. I still love the idea to try longs for this pair. From my point of view, that's the direction yet. Even though it's a bit tricky now, I agree. So what I'll be trying to do, since there is a gap that was not closed right here, and since we are in two waves here, that's what I will be trying to get here around 106, slightly higher, slightly lower. If this bullish divergence take place, I'll be trying these longs, and maybe that would be the beginning of the huge run once again. So for me, while these bottom hold, I think it's more clever to try buys. The risk is much smaller than the potential reward. So really good one from my point of view. Gold, here we are. Let's try to make it short. we have this cycle 161 extension. Pretty cool, isn't it? That's cycle number 1. Cycle number 2, triple here, triple here. If we take a look on this one quick, we can see we are now also on duplication, and slightly higher we have the extension. So starting from here, I believe gold is a good opportunity to start and look for sells. Can we rally to above this here? Now I want to remind you, we have triple cycle down, which means we should get a 50 or so. And here we are next to 50. 1 plus 1 normally equals 2. We are next to extreme. We can try and cross this one. That's why I say starting from here and slightly higher, we are under sell opportunity from my point of view. Now if we drop down to 1 hour chart, that's a triple, that's a top. If we start to get bearish divergence, we could start to deal with sells. Ideal thing to do would be, of course, drop down to lower time frame and wait until even 15, okay? Wait until we get some kind of convergence. Then and only then we can start to switch slowly and look for sell opportunities. So I would be really interested to see gold doing the job. Same with, but by the way, I'm not sure, quite sure right now that this game is over, because if we really get above this place, that's a short-term sell, but that would be also convergence, which means sales for buys after that, and that would bring you to silver, which now crossing the 50, about to create a great double wave on a daily chart. Really great opportunity to look for short-term sales and one more push to the upside. So it's getting interesting, that's for sure, and we should be starting and see. That's the convergence we might get here. So let's see how it goes. The week is really young. A lot of things could happen, and we should follow what we can get. CAD yen is the one I want also to see if we are able to get one more push up from here to correct it towards 90. I think yes. We just got the 2 waves up, so if we get 2 waves down to around, we don't have divergence yet, okay? So basically that's the only reason why I wouldn't try longs yet. But if we get closer to here, maybe with extension, that could turn to be some kind of a monster buy opportunity for 2 waves up. So really interesting one to follow. Keep in mind this area below this bottom. Okay, that's also great support area and some kind of nice buy opportunity. By the way, the extension which I'm talking about, this one of course, is right here below 82. That could be really interesting one. So let's see how it goes anyway, until we start to create divergence a bit early, but it's going to be very interesting one for sure. The next one, US oil, from my point of view, is still playing very interesting role, and as long as last bottom holds, for me it's yet only buys. We are mirrored for this. We got the boom. It will be classical if we get this kind of double correction, and then we can start long again. If not, I'll be trying to see if this could turn to be a triangle and a long. Anyway, as long as last bottom holds, for me oil is yet going to the upside. If last bottom crosses, not sure that the next bottom is very far, because that might be 80 with like 26, 24, but it's really far, and I still think we will start to get the rally from soon. So we have to keep an eye on this one. And S&P, the star. Well, what can we say about this beauty? Is the game over? I'm not quite sure, to be honest, as well. It does fear for me that we have 2 waves, and we should get one more push towards 1960, 1970 before we start the crash. There is no bullish divergence yet, so we're still under sell, but we do have to keep an eye on that, because a next rally could take place. If we just continue lower and keep going, then this is going to be very likely the beginning of something like that. Okay, and that means much more to come. Which of the scenarios will happen? We will have to see how week starts. I still tend to believe from around 1860, 1850, maybe 40, we would be looking for potential buys towards 1960, 1970, and then the next drop down taking place. And that's all. That's what we have for this week. Nothing too crazy fundamentally, except the speech from Yellen this week twice, Wednesday and Thursday, so we have to keep an eye on that. Nothing too crazy beside that. China is off due to holidays, so we will see where the volatility will come from. That will be all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a wonderful week. Thank you for your time. If you have any question, feel free to write down, and I will on comments, of course, and I will reply. If you have any feedback, you are welcome, of course. Feel free to like and to share with anyone who you think can have benefit from my forecast. And I wish you wonderful trading. And once again, thank you for your time. I'll see you again with the daily forecasts, of course, and on the next week with weekly forecast. So all the best. Vladimir Ribakov.